Indian government has recently appointed a senior rocket scientist, Dr S Somanath, to lead the Indian Space Research Organization. Now, our correspondent, Siddharth MP, spoke to the chairman of ISRO on a host of subjects, from reusable rockets to ISRO's future missions and India's space startups. Here are the highlights from the exclusive conversation. Listen in.
Joining us on WION World today is Dr S Somanath, Chairman of the Indian Space Research Organization. Sir, welcome to WION. First up, I'd like to ask you about your top priorities as Chairman and some of the visions that you have for the organization, sir.
The most important thing, as you said, it is setting up the priorities. Now, it's always priorities that drives ISRO. We always look at all the work that we need to do and then make the list and then do the first thing first. So, of course, the priorities, as I see, is most important thing is to look at what the government wants space sector to be in the future. That they have already announced the opening of the space sector and also set in motion the vision of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi in creating large number of space activities in the center. That is his global. You heard today also that he is talking about so many startup companies coming up, and he is very enthused about it. So coming back to that, I believe that really opening up of the space sector is the most important priority and enable that to happen. Now, there are a lot of things to be done. It's very easy to say that you open up, but then we need to define what are the elements of that opening up. For example, we are expecting the overall space sector will become a much bigger entity. I used to call it a space enterprise in India. So if this has to happen, Indian Space Research Organization is there as a mother organization. The Department of Space will enable more actors to come into this, which includes the user segments, which are the departments of the government of India, the private entities who are using space-based data products. They will be part of the whole process. The second is the industries who are already suppliers of systems, manufacturers of systems will get in with a larger pie or role that will be there in this. The third, of course, is the new starting companies who are into space business, rocket spacecrafts applications. They will also part of it.
Isn't the upcoming SSLV vehicle also an initiative in that direction to make launches very commercial and on demand and pretty much instant when compared to the larger rockets like PSLV and GSLV?
Basically, we want to develop a rocket that can be built and operated by industries without having too much of complexity. The rockets, they're complex machines. So if you want to make it realize this hardware in industry and assemble it and test it and fly, it requires all the skills and expertise a lot of people. So in the current scenario, if you want to develop such a thing, we looked at the rocket in a way it will be significantly simpler than the current fleet of rockets. So SSLV is in that way much simpler rocket. And second aspect is manufacturing point of view. We can do it in smaller industries. Now, we don't need huge complex manufacturing setup to make that rocket. So that is the second aspect. Third is, and we were adopting materials and systems which are lesser complex or exotic than the regular rocket material. So that way it becomes simpler. The third part is it is modularity, that we reuse systems in one stage to another. Hence, that is becoming productions friendly. So various elements were built into the rocket design so that once you develop it, it can be transferred 100% to the industry, and they will be in a position to produce and launch. And of course, it is cost effective in that because of all these reasons.
Now, in your tenure as chairman, India is looking up to several missions, including Chandrayaan-3, Gaganyaan, Aditya L1, and also collaborative missions with NASA, the Japanese agency, and also the French agency. As a chairman and also as a science enthusiast, how impressed are you and how ready are you for this kind of a challenge?
ISRO has been working with all these people throughout, and we have borrowed quite a bit of technology knowledge from them in engines, materials, technologies, etc. And our liquid engines, the cryogenic technologies were actually acquired through them, but worked with them together sometimes. But now we have reached a level that we can do it all by ourselves in terms of the rockets and spacecrafts. But with respect to science missions, the collaboration continues to be very, very important because all science objectives are global in nature. There are no specific science requirements for India alone. Every knowledge is a universal knowledge. So whenever you carry out a science mission, we need to make everybody part of it, and how to complement somebody else's work in this domain with our addition of work. For example, when we went to moon, we were carrying a lot of instruments of other nations. And together we conducted experiments which one result is complementing the other results, or adding value to the other results. So there can be joint work on this area quite a bit in science domains and futuristic research in various domains. So we will always dialogue with all the potential science establishment across the globe, continue our scientists to work with them, learn together to add value to the knowledge we are creating here. But with reference to the specific needs of the country, that is another matter.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.